Welcome to The Hurt is the Same. My name is Chantel Johnson, and each show is dedicated to my son, Christopher Johnson, who was the 109 homicide right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to The Hurt is the Same. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. As you know, my name is Chantel Johnson. I have a guest here with me tonight that's here to tell us a story. You all, when she get through talking, I got something for y'all. Welcome. How you doing?
Fine. How you doing today, Miss Chantel?
I'm doing just great. You know, Jackson is too small, y'all. I walked in here. And this my classmate.
Way back.
Way back. So, you know, my producer told me we gonna have a guest next Wednesday. And you know, I'm like Nike. I just do it. I told them, yeah, call whatever. Come on, they welcome. This is for the community. So what brings you here tonight?
Yes, Miss Chantel. I lost my son in 2020. He was 21 years old. What had happened that night, I had just got off work one Wednesday day, and my son came in, and I asked him to take out the garbage. Prior to that, my son had got in some trouble. And by him being in trouble, it's supposed to be self-defense. So I took off work to turn my own son in. Because I'm the type of parents, if you did wrong, you do the time, or you do the crime, or whatever, I'm going to still stick beside you regardless of what. So this went on like a year and a half. He met this young lady, started working. I guess how young guys say, they put me on my feet. So the young girl, she did. As that to be said, they was doing good, but as a parent, I never get in my kids' business. I always talk to them, and they'll come to me and talk to me about their problems. Mm-hmm. So I guess this was on my son's conscience. So this Wednesday evening, I got off work. I called up. I asked him, I said, Sean, come take the garbage out for Mom. He said, you can lock the door. I said, why? He said, I'm finna go get something to eat. I said, why you going to get something to eat? He said, because you don't love me. I said, why you say that? I said, let me tell you something. I said, I'm not for your mess tonight. I said, do what you want to do. Okay. About 8 o'clock that night, I got a call. My cousin called me and said, this boy just jumped out my truck with a .38 to his head. Prior to that, my son was diagnosed with ADHD, ADD, ODD. He was a compulsive liar. He wasn't just bad, like in the streets bad. He wasn't that kind of bad. But he was just, I can't say the word for it, but he couldn't get along with his siblings. It just a whole lot with him. I had cried out for help for him. I had went to the Chancellor Courthouse to try to get him some help. They took him to Whitfield one time. Then after that, I tried to give him some more help because I knew he needed some help because he had gotten that trouble. So I told my daughter, I said, if your brother come to the house, I said, once you call the crisis center. And the crisis center supposed to came out to send a person out there to the crisis center. So as that to be said, it didn't happen like that. So I'm standing at the door talking to my son, and asking my son what's going on with him. He kept saying, Mama, you don't love me. I said, son, I love you. I said, much as you did, I was still there for you. Never turned my back against you. I was always there for you. So my daughter let me know that she had called the police. About this time, the police had pulled up. My son asked me, he said, Mom, why you call the police on me? I said, how can I call the police on you? I'm standing at the door looking at you. So he said, let's go in the house. We got midway to my hallway. He said, turn around, let's go see what the police want. I went out there, I was telling the police that something wrong. And the police said something. My son ran in the backyard and shot himself in the head while I was standing in the front yard. My 2 baby kids ran back there and said, call the ambulance, my brother gone. I had already seen that my son was gone. I had told the police my son was gone. He took his time by calling the ambulance. He took his time to call back for backup. And my understanding was that when my daughter called for the crisis, they supposed to send somebody out there for the crisis center, but it didn't happen. When I investigated about it, they told me that he said he was somewhere else. I seen when they put my son in the ambulance, I seen when my son took his last breath in the ambulance. I seen all this. And I also seen the police hit my son, my baby boy, because he trying to see about his brother. They didn't want him to do anything. So my sister ran around and told him, do not hit him no more. He just lost his brother. After a week later, after I buried my son, he called me, this police officer called me, and he said, my coworker didn't hit your son. I said, why is you calling me? I said, you don't have any business calling me and questioning me about my son. Well, y'all need to leave it alone. He didn't hit him. So I called his chief, and I talked to the chief. He said, when you hang up today, you never have to worry about this no more. And he gave me his word. I did. Prior to that, what I was telling you all, when my son got in trouble, let me tell you how JPD is. JPD let my son go home on our hour. And when they let him go home, he came home to me. I put my son on the truck with his brother till everything calmed down. My brother, they got pulled over by Pittsfield, Illinois police officer. And the police got my son and they took him in. I had 2 children locked up at the same time. They pulled the other son. They stopped the other son because he had a gun in his truck. And the police thought it was the gun to something my son had did, but it wasn't. I ended up belting my other son, my older son, out. My other babies had to stay. Sean had to stay in there. So, as that to be said, one Friday, I called. I asked them, had my son been extradited back to Mississippi? They said no. About 7 o'clock that night, in my car, the police number came across my car. I said, oh, that's JPD right there. The detective who called me, he was real sweet. He said, we just brought your son in. Everything is okay. He's good. I said, can I speak to him? He said, Mom, I'm doing fine. I'm all right. They told me he had to go to court Monday morning. I said, Mom will be sitting right there when you go to court. If I wasn't in the courtroom with my son, they would have thrown a book at him. Because they put a new detective on the case, didn't know anything about what my son did. So the judge told me, he said, if your son get in any trouble, you were to tell him goodbye. So he have a little boy. I don't get a chance to see. His mom don't let me see him. I had been crying out for help for Sean for plenty times. Plenty times. But I tried my best to be the best mom he can be. And it hurts. Because that's the only grandson I have, and his mom don't let me see him. I just produced a movie called Where My Life Been. It's a message out here to our young guys. You can have good friends, you can have bad friends. But you need to realize who you hang with. Because that good friend you think is your good friend is not your good friend. They're going to make you take the whole blame of everything. You don't have any friends. Your friend is your mom, the good man up above. So mom and dad going to stand there when nobody else going to stand there. You need to realize if you don't lie to nobody else, you can lie to anybody. Don't lie to your mom. Don't lie to your parents, because they're going to be there for you. Do not put the guns down. Raise your family if you have kids. Get your education. Be something in your life. Because the movie I made is not sad. It's not depressing. It just shows you what kind of friend you have and how they can turn their back against you.
First off, I want to say I'm so sorry for your condolences. And hey, you know, most people have a saying one day at a time, but when I got on this side, I learned for me it was 1 second at a time. You know, and I tell people that all the time that's on this side. The resources, you know, I fought mental illness
For years, yes,
for
you did.
years on top of years.
Yes.
You know, under the age of 18, they got all the help in the world for them.
Yeah, they do. They
Over
really
the
do.
age of 18, they lock them up for what the same thing they used to give them help for.
Yeah.
I truly understand. I done did it from all four corners. I'm talking about to where for 20 plus years, September the 23rd was what I was trying to prevent. And in so many cases, they let the mental ill people take the fall while the real criminal walks.
And that's so true. I just like you said, by me doing this book, I sent out a lot of donations letter to try to get the movie going, to talk about it. But every time, no, we can't do it. We can't do it. You have to realize one day it might be your family. This might help your child to stop doing what he doing. But y'all don't realize that until you get in the shoe fit of us parents who really lost their child.
I say all the time, the ones who haven't suffered from a loss, they should be in front of us.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am, they do.
They should be in front of us trying to prevent some things with children being raised here and grandchildren. You know, and just to collaborate off a little thing that you said for is your grandbaby. You know, my granny used to tell me, and I used to hear her tell, you know, other people, when you have a daughter, you know for a fact
It's yours.
that's your blood.
Yes.
That's your
Yep.
genes. And when you have a boy, you got to do a certain little thing different because you don't hold the key. That's the way
true.
she used to put it. And when she had 5 boys, and by his grace and mercy, she helped raise me and all of my uncle's children. We was raised together with her daughter kids. But she also let my dad and them know one thing. You can't control it.
That's true.
You know, and things got a way of working themselves out. If sometime we just stand still. And the people that do this thing to cause hurt do not realize either you're going to have a conscience and do what's right or you're going to stand on your own feelings and disbelief and anger and selfishness, keeping a child away from their other family.
That's so true.
You know, but this city is on fire.
Yes, it is.
You know, nobody is talking about it. Nobody is concerned about it. You know, we got animals running down the street with human remains. And it's like, it's normal. A mother is still losing her child and have to wait weeks and weeks because these people steady telling us they problem when you supposed to be telling your boss the problem.
Yeah, that's true. And I had learned too, Miss Shantae, in this situation here, I did a little research about it. The thing that we do, we works all the time. We try to make sure they have a roof over their head. We try to make sure they have food to eat. We try to make sure they have go to school decent. Make sure they have everything. We never come home because we working so much, we tired. We never come home and say, baby, how your day was? How you feeling today? What's wrong? You need anything? You need any help? So they figure about us working so much, we don't love them.
Well, I'm nosy. Let me tell you something.
So
I'm so nosy, baby. I want to know. Matter of fact, I think that's one of the things that they don't like about me. I'm nosy. I want to know when you come through the door. You know, now that they in their 20s and they growing up to be young men.
Mm-hmm.
My baby boy, when he put his eyes on me, he hugging me and kissing all on me. My middle son, same thing. Chris, same thing. I just I come up in an affectionate family, you know. For as my father, if I tell people, I grew up, my father was an alcoholic. First thing would come to mind is he was abusive and this here and that. But that wasn't my daddy. My daddy was the happy drunk. He was the one who gave everything away. He was the one who showed love and wanted everybody to be straight, no matter if you was a CEO or whether or not you was a dish digger or a homeless person.
Yeah. Well, see, I lost my mom when I was 12 years old, and I had my first child when I was 13.
Oh yeah, I learned along the way too now.
So my dad had got remarried, and it wasn't the same anymore because my mama always kept us together.
I know.
But I was a daddy baby until he passed when I was 25 years old. But it hurted so much because I had to go through a whole lot at an early age. And I had to learn from a whole lot at an early age. But I thank my family. My sister made sure I finished school. They made sure that I got what I needed. I was okay with that. But it was still wasn't nothing like a mother love. If y'all have y'all men, if y'all still have y'all mothers living, even young ladies, love your mama. You don't give but one of them.
Sure right.
One. Because once they throw that dirt on you, you can hang it up, baby. You can hang it up. It's over with. That's why I tell this job I work with, the kids come in there, they tell me they have ate, their mama boyfriend doing this to them and this and that, how the parents ignoring them. And I sit there and I listen to them, I talk to them. That's what made me start talking more about this, because I could have been in the psychiatry ward, but I'm not.
Well, you know what I tell people? Life make you have mental illness problems.
Yes.
You ain't nobody on this earth gonna tell me that you ain't had no mental problem long as you been living, because life gonna make you have them. You know, hey, honey, when you touch that mental illness, I done been through, out of 7 days of a week, if the medicine is not regulated and that medicine is not right, every day is a challenge.
Yeah, it is. But I don't take it though.
But you know, that's how it was with my son. You know, it had got to the point where I was calling 911 on 911. You know, because of the same thing that you just said. The crisis team ain't came.
No,
you know. They have got better at it now from what I hear, since someone else lost their life, you know, due to the little incident had happened. But other than that, hey, I have done it all, honey. I'm talking about to where I had assigned officers that only could come to my house for Chris. if you weren't trained in mental illness, if you didn't understand a mental breakdown from disorder conduct, you at the wrong address.
That's true.
You know.
And it's sad because when you call them, they take their time by coming. Your son, whoever your family member did what they had to do because JPD taking their time and crisis people don't show up. And then the first thing, well, y'all should have trained them better. We have trained them. We done raised our kids the best way we can.
Well,
and to be a single parent, to be with your kids, because none of my kids did anything for them. I always took care of my kids. I never stopped them from seeing their daddy though, but it's just the point they never did.
And I'm just the opposite of that. I drop my off at your job because it ain't abandonment when you go to your other parent.
Yeah.
Hey, in the middle of lunch. So I'm just the opposite.
Nah, I didn't do that.
Baby, you at work? Me too. Your job more easy than mine. Take both of these car seats.
Okay.
All right, y'all. We got a caller. Let me see here. What year is that? I would say, help me out here, please, sir. Hold on, Carl. We getting it together here. Hello, Carl. Are you there?
No, I ain't got it on you.
Oh, okay. Look, I thought we were ready. I got time then. As they say, I got time today.
Go ahead. I ain't moving.
All right. Is it in there?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, you should hit. You won't pull up, Shantae.
Oh, you're going to have to wait. I do it when we get ready to leave. Yes, ma'am. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us, LaShawn. James Jones. Thank everybody else on the live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello, caller. How you doing? Welcome to the Heard Is the Same.
Hi, how's everyone? Hello.
Hello there.
Yes. Hello.
I'm happy to be. I'm happy to be on tonight.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
just wondering if you guys can hear me okay.
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you good.
Oh, okay. My name is Kiwani Jones, and I'm calling in from Chicago. So Chantel wanted me to be on her podcast, so I'm here.
You got the flow, baby.
Hello?
Yes, you there?
Yeah, I just heard like some static. I
Okay,
wasn't sure what was going on.
we was welcoming you in, and we did the claps.
Oh, that's like a hand clap. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where you guys are leaving off from because I'm kind of tuning in late. I just got home from work. So can y'all fill me in?
Oh, yes, we can. We can fill you in. You can catch up later and tell us your testimony if you have one in your story. Or we're going to fill you in and you can do both. All right, let us catch up.
Yes, ma'am. Miss.
Okay.
I didn't catch your name.
Kiwani Jones, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
Hey, Miss Jones, how you doing today? Miss Jones, we was talking about.
I'm doing great.
That's good. We was talking about single moms who losing their kids, and also, family anyway. I was telling them about a story that my son took his life in my backyard while I was standing in the front yard, and how he took his life. What was going on with him? And I was telling them about the book that we just produced. Not book, I'm sorry. A movie we just produced about where my life been. It's talking about the good guys and the bad guys. Who's your friend, who's not your friend. And we was also talking about that you can send help out, don't nobody want to do it. It's always no, no, no. but you don't realize that it could be your family one day, and you'll need some help or someone to talk to you.
Wow. I'm sorry about your son. It's so touching. Oh, my God. I'm sorry about your son. So it's like different topics. Oh, my God. So, well, tonight, I guess I'll be like an add-in. So I have like it too. I was a victim due to gun violence here in Chicago. And I was shot numerous amount of times and left for dead in my car.
Oh, Lord.
Over a parking space in my old neighborhood. My neighbor said that he parks there and that I needed to move my car. But I guess I didn't move my car quick enough. And next thing I know, he was just coming down the stairs, and all I could see was blue sparks coming out the barrel of a handgun. At first, I thought it was fireworks because it was near the 4th of July. This happened July 13th, 2019. So it was kind of like a shock to me because I've been living in that area for like 7 years. I was the neighborhood candy store lady. I have 4 kids, and my kids grew up in their schools and playing with the children on the block, and his kids was coming to my candy store, so it wasn't like I was a stranger or like as if he didn't know me. But I don't know if that has anything to do with his mental state, but a lot of people were saying that they lived there longer than me. I guess he felt like he owned the streets, which didn't have any handicap poles or any signs stating that this was his parking space. But I guess that particular day, he wanted me to move. And me being kind of hard-headed, now that I know what I know now, from all this road rage and people with guns and people with switches, so now the person tell you move out this car, to hurry up and move, because he shot me 17 times and left me for dead in my car. Mm-hmm. And I was shot in my lower extremity, my upper extremity, so that's like both of my legs, all of my thighs, upper extremity in my arms, both arms. One of them had to be reconstructed. They had to put metal hardware on my arm, and I remember the paramedics telling me that it could have got severed, and I was losing a lot of blood, and I remember hearing the paramedic siren, and I also remember looking at him shooting me, but still was in shock, like the gunshots would never stop. It just kept ringing in my ears, ringing like, and then I'm hearing ricochet, pew, pew, pew. It was like I was in an army or something. I'm like, what is going on? All these shots for me, little bitty old me, coming through my door, coming through my window, coming through my car. And it was like he was shooting down, thank the Lord, because the doctor said it didn't hit any vital organs like my head, my brain, my heart, my lungs, but it did struck me in my abdomen, which kind of grazed my kidney and my liver. So they said they cut some of the liver off and that it supposed to grow back. So I never knew liver could grow back in the anatomy of a body. And I did have a colonoscopy bag for about 2 months. It's also still a bullet near my spine. They say if they remove it, I could suffer paralysis. I was saying the Lord's Prayer the whole time I was in the car. And it's just like I'm looking at him and I saw something in his eyes that I never saw before. It looked like he was a whole totally different person. And as I was saying the Lord's Prayer, Our Father, art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I said the whole Lord's Prayer because I was kind of tapping out. Like I felt my body getting real heavy. I felt my shirt feeling warm, like somebody threw, instead of ice bucket challenge, like a hot bucket challenge. I felt hot. So like I saw smoke coming out my mouth when I was breathing in and out trying to gasp for air because I was in the car. So it was like I'm losing air. I'm losing oxygen. I can't breathe. So all I could think of was just stay woke, say the Lord's Prayer. I was just trying to stay conscious. And then I heard the paramedics. So I started talking to myself. They're coming for me. Somebody heard it. Somebody know I'm here. You know, because I'm thinking about my house. My house, a couple of doors down. You know, thinking about my dog. Is my kids gonna know what happened to me? I was thinking about my granddaughter. My daughter just had a baby, so I was just trying to keep my mind instead of focusing on the gunshot wounds, because if I would have looked down and saw how my arm was, the way they said, it could have been almost severed. It was like hanging, and it was real messed up. They said I came to the emergency room banged up. So the trauma team said I flatlined it 2 times, and then they brought me back. They said they had to give me 2 blood transfusions. The first one, my body didn't take it. It didn't react to it. It rejected it. So they had to replenish my regular blood with the blood transfusion from wherever they got it. The max at 9 was a B positive, and replenish that back in there and do it a second time. Then they said I was in a coma for 5 days. And when I woke up out the coma, all I can remember is like the things that I saw when I was in the coma. Like I was just in the dark. I don't know if it was because the eyelids was closed over my eyes for so many days. And when you close your eyes, it's pitch black. But as I was in that coma, I could still hear like my mom. I recognized her voice. I recognized my oldest daughter's voice saying, "Oh, Lord, no, not my mom." I recognized my son's voice saying, "And she's going to be okay." And I couldn't, like, tell them, I hear y'all, or I know y'all here, because they say they had breathing tubes all down my throat, and they weren't looking good. And the paramedics was saying, like, well, you need to calm down. We got to focus on you. And I'm trying to tell them that the shooter is still there in the house. Oh, my purse is still in the car, and y'all putting me on the gurney. I'm still conscious, and I think they must have gave me something to induce me into the coma, because I remember the whole time when they got there, I was letting them know the shooter is right there, he lives right there, my keys in my car, my purse. And they weren't thinking about none of that stuff. They said they had to focus on me because I was in critical condition and I was losing a lot of blood. So when I woke up out the coma, I was just telling my mom and them, like, what I saw, and they was kind of like, "What did you see?" And I'm like, I felt like I was like in between worlds and different dimension. Like when I looked down on one side, it looked like a whirlpool, like a sinkhole just going down, like quicksand, spinning. Like you look on down in there, you just fall on down in that hole. And then on the other side of my peripheral vision, it was like a gleam of a light. And I can remember saying, like at that time, it's so dark, Lord, if you could just take me to that light. But I think my mom said when you used to say that, that's like when you're gonna die, you're never supposed to go to the light. No, I asked, Lord, please take me to that light. And I felt like the angels lifted me up and like they carried me like I was floating or something. And when I floated up, as I got to the light, I saw like a man, but he didn't really look like a man. He didn't have a face. It was like the face was fire and the gown was white. And when I'm trying to look at him, it didn't hurt my eyes. I'm trying to see, like, is this really happening? Am I going to go to heaven? Okay. But it was like, I was just saying, he said, "Do you believe?" And it was a voice, and it was like real strong, but it was like soft at the same time, but vivid. So I felt a little comfort back, because then I was thinking, like, this must be God or Jesus, because I know there's somebody talking to me. And I said, yes, I believe, yes. So I'm saying all this in the coma. I'm going through all this in the coma. I'm hearing Mom and them coming every day. I'm hearing my daughter and them talking. I'm hearing this vivid voice that I can't recognize. Who is this talking? But I said, yes, I believe. And that voice said, "Who shall ever believe in me," or something, that you will have everlasting life. And next thing I know, my eyes open. And when I was looking around, I couldn't talk. I was trying to talk, but they had like tubes down my throat. And my mama was looking like, calm down. And I'm looking like, where I'm at. So then she was saying, can you write? And I was saying, like looking like, give me a pen or something. So then my daughter tried to put a pen in my hand and stuff, but my hand was messed up, so I couldn't hardly write with the pen. So now everybody just looked at me like, what did happen? And he was in a coma. They were just talking to me like he was in a coma for 5 days. And we were sitting here every day and praying to God. And got a phone call from the neighbor saying that you was shot up in the car. Somebody walked up and shot you up and ran off and stuff. And I'm like, I can't tell them what really going on. It's like, oh my God, they need to take this thing out. So then I think my daughter said, it seemed like he took that out like she's gurgling or something. Y'all need to take that out. So when they took it out, my voice was all, my daughter said was all like, oh my God, like how can like that? And I was telling them, Kevin shot me. And they like, who? And I'm like, Kevin shot, trying to tell them, like, well, you just need to calm down and drink some water. And they like, well, she can't have any fluids or nothing because she got that colonoscopy bag. And I'm trying to tell them what happened. So it just was so crazy because after I was telling them what happened, it gave him a chance to flee. And then when the detectives came, they was acting like, oh, the first 48 hours was a critical time. Well, I was in a coma for 5 days, so I couldn't tell nobody what happened. So once I finally told them the guy's name and the address, then they sent like a little rap sheet, a piece of paper, and say, point to the person that you see. And I saw him on the paper, and I pointed to him. So then they say they went out to the house, but they, the neighbors or whatever, the people that live there said he doesn't live here. They said that his ID matches this address. And then they slammed the door in their face. So they was making it seem like, oh, we didn't attempt to go out there, but you know, every time we go, they'll say that he don't live there. So I'm like, you guys can't like get a search warrant or where his name is not on the deeds or the title. So we just can't actually kick in nobody's door. We could get sued. So every time I was trying to like, y'all found any leads or y'all heard anything, has any neighbor said anything? We had several phone calls, but everybody want to be anonymous. Then I was thinking, what about them cameras? Y'all got them spot shotters and stuff on the corner. Can the footage of the camera? All the cameras was facing the opposite direction of the side of the street, so we couldn't see who it was. So they was kind of making me feel like as if they didn't care if I died or not. They was acting like they really weren't looking for him. I had to investigate my own case. I had to go on Facebook, find his Facebook page, going on Twitter, find his Twitter page, calling the detectives, giving them all of his accounts, and log on his page, and Kevin go hard, and Kevin this, and everything they were saying has come to dead ends. And we even checked the thing when they log on, he hasn't logged on and all this stuff. So I was just kind of like, I'm going to stay here. I'm not moving. I was in the hospital for 2 months. When I get out, I'm going right back to my house because I don't have no reason to move. I didn't shoot nobody. But my mama was like, do you think that's going to be safe? And what if he come back? He's still on the run. And kids got to go to school.
Well, you know, it's the same all over the world for as the leadership and lack of resources. They just do not care. That's why I said it's time to go all the way to the top now. It's time for all 50 states who have suffered gun violence to rally up, just like they did for the Black Million Man March, and go to Washington. That's what it's time for us to do. It's time for everybody in the United States of America who have ever suffered from gun violence. It's time to go to Washington. It's time to jump past the governors. It's time to jump past the mayors. It's time to jump past all of them. Yeah. And go straight to the top.
That's what we're going to have to do.
Because we see the rest do not care. The rest do not care. And until they can see us standing in the gap for our loved ones, then hopefully they can understand we stand as one in front of you all. Because then color is not going to matter. Because it's going to be all races out there.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And we all going to share one thing, and that's a loss. Well, we have another caller coming in. I want to thank you for calling. I want to thank you for sharing that. Your testimony, baby, because that's what that is, a testimony. Call back anytime, and it is greatly, greatly appreciated that you shared your testimony with us. And hey, God is good all the time.
And we'll be praying for you.
Yes, indeed.
Thank
okay.
you.
Thank you. We have another call on the line. Hello, welcome to the Hurt is the Same.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Chantel. This is Chantel. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm calling to touch on what was said earlier about loving your mother,
Who?
and you only have one.
Yes.
It's sad when you see these young people who, first and foremost, don't really give a damn about their parents, their grandparents, any of their elders.
No, it's true.
And it all starts at home.
You're right, because you know why?
As you know,
What I was saying, you know why? Because you got some growing up with their kids, and they smoke, drink.
that's true, but I have to say, because I was a teen mom.
Yes,
I have 5 sons. Chantel is actually my cousin.
okay.
My husband and I raised our kids to be respectful. 5 sons. Okay? I've only had a problem with one of my children. And only because he wanted to be like his friend.
That's true.
Not because he wasn't taught. He just wanted to
Blend in.
follow the in crowd, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
But one thing my husband and I didn't play was disrespect.
That's
It
true.
starts at home. When you guys, I had my oldest child when I was 16, 17, I was 17. But, and I was called Mommy Dearest because my child said yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. But as Chantel can tell you, that's the way we were raised.
Amen.
Yes,
I didn't have a problem with it.
and in my kids,
I didn't care who didn't like it. I was called Mommy Dearest. Believe it or not. Because he never disrespected me. He knew when he answered me, it was yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And I have always been the type, I don't play with my children, and I'm damn sure not going to play with you.
and that's so true. And that's so true. My son.
My friends knew if you bring your children around me and they step out of line, you ain't got to correct me because I'm going to do it for you.
That's right. My sister.
And if you don't like it, there's the door.
There you go.
But when you have parents that allow their children to be disrespectful, you have children, parents may not even allow it. You have some that fight. But when you have a child that is disrespectful to their parents, my grandmother and my mama always told me, you will reap what you sow.
That is so true.
And a disobedient child will have hard days. When you have children, you got some of them out there raising their hands to their kids. I ain't never had to worry about that. And I'm going to tell you, my husband has been and my kids like we've been married for 33 years. But they more afraid of their mama than they are their daddy. Because I ain't never played with them. You can be your child's friend to a point. You need to be a parent first.
That's true. That is so true.
But when you're around here allowing your children to be disrespectful to you, and like you say, they club and party with their kids. You got some of them out there smoking weed with their kids. They smoking with their kids, and they wonder why in the hell their children out here doing any and everything.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And then,
And then those that are losing their kids are the ones that are suffering because of these folks want to be their children's friends.
That's true. That's true.
And I heard you say something about we need to go to Washington about gun violence. That's so true. But what is it going to do when you got all of these governors that refuse to do any damn thing about gun violence?
That's why we need to jump over the governors.
Yes.
Go straight to the president.
But that's just it. That ain't gonna work because you know who gonna stop it? It got to go through the Senate and the House. They ain't trying to do nothing about gun violence because in their mind you trying to take away their right
And they
to bear arms.
They never should have passed the law anyway with the gun violence. You have to be 18 was 21.
Well, they knew what they were doing. It was only going to affect the hoods. And it was like dropping a grenade in the hood.
Yeah, and they should never did that. And now, you know, kids buying guns off the streets, even they stolen or they broke in someone's house and got it, or they shot someone with it. These kids just getting guns, don't know where they're coming from. And then when they get caught with it, it's the first thing you know, this gun's stolen. And you know, where I got this.
Let me tell you this too, and I don't mean to interrupt you. I live in the state of Texas, and you know, we can carry guns. Ain't nobody got to have no permit, no concealed carry. It's a wild west, so to speak. I grew up, my grandpa taught me how to shoot a gun at a young age. I've been around guns, I know how to use them. But one thing about me, if I'm going to use it on you, you best believe it's going to be a situation where it's you or me. I'm not going to take your life because you breaking in my car. Material things can be replaced.
That's true. But
the mindset of a lot of people now is to shoot and kill. Mm-hmm. And who is being affected? Our young black men.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, they wrong if they out there breaking in folks' cars. They wrong. Shit, I'm looking at the camera in my house one day. We in Mississippi, and dude, he less than 13 or whatever he was, couldn't tell. He walking up in the driveway like he lived there, checking on the door. I'm not gonna take his life. Now I hold him at gunpoint until the police get there. But they are so inclined to take somebody's life. They got a gun, they got a little courage, and that gun is their power, and they're going to use it no matter what.
And that's so sad.
They don't second guess, they don't think about life at all.
And then there's no consequence.
And it's sad.
And then they
no, it's none. It's none.
And they taking their lives because some of the police out here scared. If you scared, why you get the job? You scared? If you need to be out here helping us instead of being scared. Because the police officer who came to my house that night when my son took his life, and I tried to tell the police there's something wrong with my son, he stood there. He never moved. Never moved. And when my son ran in that backyard and took his life, the only way the police called for backup and for help is when my son ran out the house, seeing his brother laying on the ground, and told that man, call for help. Other than that man was still been sitting there talking to me. He didn't comfort me. He didn't do nothing. He just stood there until people came. He didn't try to go back there and see what was going on. I understand it was a gunshot, but you should have went back there and see what's going on. He did not move. And when the police pulled up, they just all swung in, and that was it. Then you got the one police out there trying to comfort you, and he out there trying to flirt with you. Really? Come on now.
My.
Come on. You supposed to be out here trying to see what's going on.
It's bad and disrespectful.
Yes, it's very is.
You know, and the thing of it is that when you really think about it, they are afraid of our young black men.
Mm-hmm. They are. They really are.
They really are. I'm not sure if you all are familiar with the story of the 15-year-old that was killed in Gulfport, Mississippi.
The who?
With his hands up.
No, man, I'm not.
You talking about
the 15-year-old? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had his hands up. He was shot in the head. After this child was shot in the head, The officers did nothing to render aid to him. They handcuffed him.
Nope. It's just sad.
Yeah, I seen the pictures trending on the internet from the inside of the Family Dollar where they were taking pictures.
And I was looking at another picture of Mother Talk on the talk, and she was telling me she was saying on the thing that she had called the police officer about her son, and they never showed up. She said she waited for 3 hours before they can show up. And she was telling them that her son is something wrong with him. That she was trying to get some help for him. They never showed up. Now, if she videoed it an hour and it's still 2 hours and they still didn't show up, come on now. Come on.
Is that the time that they wasn't answering the phone?
It's bad.
Yes. And then they were saying they wouldn't answer the phone. And then they supposed to have body cameras on of things that they do. They turns them off.
Well, they can tell when they go off and they tell when they come on. Because there's some few good ones on there.
Yes.
That just have to suffer with the ones that just don't care. I'm not even going to call them bad. Because to get up to do their job every day, you know, it's something. But it's the like of care. It's the like of care. But even when they put their all in it, you lock somebody up this second, hell, they right back out.
That's true.
It's nowhere to hold them at. You know, so that's one thing that I am excited about. We are on the path of getting that misdemeanor jail back like it was when we were small.
And
when we was coming up.
And we need it.
So that was never should have been shut down.
And what we need right here in Jackson is that we don't have anything for our kids really to do.
They don't care.
They not opening anything. They not trying to comfort these kids or doing something during the summertime and helping with trying to get some more education or anything like that. They're not doing anything.
They opening up clubs.
That's all.
And bars.
That's it. It is
and restaurants.
It's nowhere for these kids really to go swimming.
So let me ask you all this: what are your city council members doing?
Balling. What
yes.
the county doing? Balling. What the mayor doing?
So there's not a city council member that's willing to do something for the community?
Well, we've been to Kenny Stokes have tried to get things done, but they don't want to do it. Harvey Johnson tried to do it.
No, I ain't talking about him.
But it's never nothing to be done.
I'm talking about that's when they start balling. They start balling on his watch. I'm talking about the city councilman Harvey. Now, what is his name? I'm saying the man's name wrong. Vernon. I don't know. I'm not good with names. But anyway, he over there out Lynch Street or somewhere. My buddy, he cool. Now, I know he care. I know Kenny care. But, hell, Ashley Foot care. The other one care. You know why? Because they making something happen.
That's true.
They making something happen because I keep trying to tell y'all, they building Fondren, Bellhaven, and Eastover right up before your eyes. And if you don't believe, go right there on Meadowbrook, cross street from Eddie Seafood, where they put that $1.some million loft houses at.
And then when you call out to ask them for help, and you call out for help,
it's a community effort at the same time.
The hood don't vote.
Nope.
Down here. Nope. And they know.
Well, I mean, and even not so much vote because this right now I'm on the coast. I'm at my own Shan. They have people that does things in the community. I mean, it's gonna take somebody to stand up and do something. You gotta start somewhere.
That's true too. That's true. And so that's why we are trying to speak out now to try to see what is reach out to anyone where we can get our kids some help, something to do, and have some, trying to teach them from right from wrong. And they do not have to do the things they doing. That's why I feel
exactly.
That's why I came out myself to talk about this, because I do want our kids with help.
And Dexter Morgan, you are 100% right. Let me tell you something, baby. They been price gouging all the way around the board. The caskets that went up, the markers that went up, to put the headstone down that went up, the headstone itself that went up. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You know,
because it's big business to them.
What else?
Yes.
As the bodies coming in,
they making money.
The embalming fluid, the water coming out. Don't you think now time?
Yes, indeed, it's big business to them.
Yeah, yes. Don't you think now time this water and this clicker just became flourishing around here in Jackson, and back in the day, didn't nobody mess with it but them country boys. Them country boys used to have to come down here and get it. Now you got people on the city, everybody in the city on it. But that's like I've been telling the ambulance folks and all the folks at the ER, and I'm gonna tell y'all family members, when your loved one is spazzing out on that water, that clicker, that juice as y'all call it, make sure y'all get some milk. You want they eye to go down there 5 to 10 minutes, and you can't find nothing else because the ambulance people can't even give them saline water. Let me tell y'all a free game. Get you some milk. It's the same reverse thing that it used to do to crack. I don't know what's in it. Don't ask me. But I can tell you that it worked. I done seen it work on over 15 people that's highly addicted to it. But when they get in that certain stage and you can't do nothing with them, you need to get them to drink some milk. And it's gonna cut it. I'm telling you now. Because it's
sad that it even have to get to that.
Yeah,
yes, it
and
is.
the AMR people, they can't even put no saline in young. They so scared.
Well,
what might happen when you own that stuff.
Well, coming to the AMRs, the day that they load my son up to take him to the hospital, they didn't even try. If my son coded in the ambulance, they didn't even do CPR on him. They didn't do anything to him to try to stop or try to bring him back alive. I don't think I remember seeing the lady hit the wall and to tell her co-worker that he's gone. They didn't try to do anything to try to save my son.
And you know what they so...
And I have talked to so many AMR people, but they never knew what I was talking about. And when I asked them, they said, really? Really? So I tried to get his report from AMR. They won't even give it to me.
Well, you know what? It's sad, but it's true. But as the show that my friend girl has on 90.1 on Saturdays, it's a ripple effect.
It is.
It is a total ripple effect. As I was saying about the surgeons and the doctors, do you know these people have to go home every night and have to tell families over and over, I'm sorry for your loss?
Yeah.
100 and some homicides. Imagine going to work for 20 plus to 30 some years to become a doctor, a surgeon, or whatever you listen to your mom and dad and became.
Yes, sir.
And you keep losing over and over and over and over because they coming in with these assault rifle bullets.
It's true.
You got third world country weapons on domestic and city soils. Until when they go in the hospital with these assault rifle bullets, it's nothing for these people to fix. It's nothing for them to do.
Well, you also have to understand that it's all a process as far as those weapons are on the street for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
Think about this. They can get those weapons off the streets. They can get the drugs off the streets. They choose not to because who are the ones that are being affected by this? It's the black community.
And because you know why?
And if we stand up and wake up and change, imagine how much better we would be first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
We have to stop this. And it starts at home. And like I said, and I'm going to say this and then I'm going to let y'all go. When you got a child that is disrespectful to their parent, that can cuss their parents out, call their mama a bitch, and when you got somebody that can do that, the outside people don't stand a damn chance.
That's true.
That you better believe.
That's so true. That's what I tell my.
And until we do something about that, nothing is going to change. It's going to continue, and it has to start at home. It has to.
That's so true. That's so true.
I totally agree.
All right. Thanks for talking.
And thank you for calling. Love you.
Thank y'all. And condolences. Love you too.
All right.
Talk to you later.
All right. Well, that's my mom's oldest sister's daughter, who I'm actually named after. Okay. And she has 5 boys, and I had 3. So I guess we kind of both rule with an iron fist. She got soldiers all the way down to tech guys. All 5 of them, is living their lives by God's grace and mercy. But it's a ripple effect. It is really a ripple effect, and I just wish Jackson, Mississippi get involved. It is very important that you get involved.
That's true, and I hope so too. I hope this will get the message out to every parent, family members, young men, young women. If y'all need some help, it's help out here. It's help out here. You don't have to go in no hospital. Call a friend. Call your pastor. Call somebody and tell them what's going on. And see, can you get some help? Because y'all don't have to do the things y'all do out here. Y'all don't have to lay down with these guys to do what they say. You don't have to take no beating, because I'm not going to take now. It's something out there to get help with. So young guys, y'all, let's get together. Put these guns down, pull our pants up, and let's get jobs, and let's do something. I know sometimes that y'all go out there and apply for jobs. They say they hiring. And then you go there, they don't hire you, don't hear nothing there from them or whatever. Because you know why? They don't hire their friends. They don't want you there. If you don't know that person, you ain't finna get up in there. You ain't finna get up in there. So guess what? And you got jealous people out there from jobs, from everywhere. Because you want to do better, they're going to talk about you. But don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Do what's best for you all. Do what's best for you all, guys. Like I say, my movie is coming out soon. I'm working on it. It's like I say, it's where my life been. I'm still working on it, and if y'all like to donate to it, my Cash App is $78 $78 Ellis. If you like to, you can donate towards it. My email is janiceellis1978@yahoo.com. And I'm also finna write the book about it, where my life been as a single mom.
That is magnificent,
You never hear this anyway. So I talked to a young man the other day, and I was telling him about it. And he was saying that you never hear things like this because we all keep it in. You can't keep it in. You have to talk about it or to get past it.
Yeah.
I ain't going to tell you now time it don't hurt.
I know when you're right.
It hurts. Holiday. I don't even work for my son holiday. I have to deal with my son took his life October 14th. I had to deal with the 14th, my mama anniversary the 15th. My brother's the 29th. That's not a good month for me. Yeah, and they asked me, they said, come to work. I said, no, I'm not coming.
October, it's almost like now, it's every month in the year for me. I tell people, we didn't start having deaths in my family on my dad's side of the family to almost 40 plus years. You know, we watched other families go through it. But for us as a whole, we just, it hadn't came to us yet. But when it started coming.
It come like, God said it coming.
Once it started coming, it came like a storm.
Yep.
You know, just as he said it would. But our foundation, you know, that's what anchors me. My dad's mom never lost a child. But my mother's mother, she buried 2 before she left here. And I had to tap back into my Bay St. Louis and my Gulf Coast and all up and down that coastline genes, you know. So I had to go back to what I know. And in that process, I learned everybody want to cause pain at that time.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
You know, any other time when you could have picked it, this is the time that majority of someone who has suffered the loss of a child or a husband, of a mom, a dad, a sibling, I have really came to the conclusion that is when society is at on their worst behavior. Friends, family, you know, every action that you take is judged. You know, why you ain't doing this? Why you ain't doing that?
That's true.
You know, not understanding. We in adrenaline mode. We in a task. You know, we don't even know who ourselves are at that moment after. We have to learn how to live this new person on this new side that we've been forced on. So I most definitely want to thank you for joining us tonight. As I say, come back anytime you get ready. You are more than welcome. To the community, please get involved. And as you all know, if you have lost a child, please get in contact with Miss Felicia Moore. She will grant me justice. Come get loved on. It's just, that's the only thing I can tell you is driven by love and God's first. If you have any information on any of these homicides, make sure you call 601-353-355-TIPS. You know, I'm finna give y'all the old time number, 601-353-9311. You know, that's about the only number that I got recorded up in. You know, now I tell you the weather back in the day. It used to tell you when the movie
time to come on and everything
and you used to
else.
find the movie, what time the movie was playing and all that. So that's where my mind had went to you all. But if you can help a family get some justice,
Yes.
please, please, please do so. I also want to send a condolence out to Leslie Brooke family and to Lucy's family. Y'all keep them in prayers. Keep all the other homicide victim mothers and families in your prayers. Prayer does change things.
Yes.
You know, this city, I didn't get a chance, you know, to collaborate on none of that. But it's all about just showing love. Just showing love. And just get involved. And for as my son case, as you know, 1 down, 3 to go. Say his name, Christopher.